Good morning, good afternoon. Hello to everyone. I'm Molly Bryant and joined, as Elizabeth just pointed out, by Bob. So we're really excited to meet with you today. Say hello. Well, let's get started. So I'd like to begin with a question. I'd like to ask the group here to just consider this question in your mind. How do you explain your work to others? Most people, if they have no clinical operations experience, have little to no understanding about how complex, detailed, and sometimes difficult it is to move a treatment to trial. They certainly don't understand the complexities of the protocol which we work on itself. But for those of us in the industry, we know the complex and yet critical checkpoints and challenges. We also know that at least for some of the obstacles we face, there must be a better way. And the protocol document has long been a prime example and thus a target for simplifying. And looking at it this way, of course, there should be a way to do these things you see on the slide. There should be a way to reduce the document cycle time, to reduce complexity, and use work completed to kick off other processes. Because truly the benefits are great if we can do that. If we can reduce overall protocol cycle time, we can reduce clinical trial timelines and reduce the time it takes to bring drugs to market. By simplifying content, we are better able to ensure quality of that content and run more efficient clinical trials. And if we can use that quality content to drive the next steps in the process, even in a very limited way today, we pave the way for greater efficiency throughout the clinical trial, but also for future automation, which I know is a buzzword in the industry, but also holds the key to real digital transformation in your organization and in the drug development process. But if the benefits are obvious, why do we keep seeing headlines like the one on your screen? Why do our protocols seem to gain complexity, and why is the process still so time-consuming? Well, the answer is because we're still using old technology, which is word processing, to solve problems that are actually caused by word processing. It's a document-based process. It's always been a document-based process, and it is really just the paper process made electronic. A trial manager creates a new protocol document from the right word template, and then he sends it to a small number of key collaborators and co-authors. And those people do a little work, and then they send it to additional collaborators. And everyone has their own copy of the document. Everyone is making their own changes and creating new versions. People may be changing the actual structure of the document and copying in new content from different sources. And the chain can grow multiple times. You can easily see how it expands beyond that first trial manager to, in our experience, we see figures of 30 authors and over 100 reviewers involved in a typical industry protocol. And eventually, as authors and reviewers complete their work, all those versions land back with our trial manager. And you can see how painful this can be for that trial manager. How many duplicate comments and changes are there? Many of you on this call today may understand this pain yourself. Perhaps you're grimacing to yourself right now. And Bob, I know you and I had talked about this previously. You've seen some of these review cycles go awry, haven't you?
Yes, definitely, Molly. My background's in clinical operations, and I was talking to a colleague of mine about a fairly simple phase 2 protocol that she'd been working on. Asked her about the review cycle. She told me she had over 700 comments to deal with from that protocol, and it wasn't just this mass of Word documents that landed on her. In her organisation, they have a single collaborative document management system, but she still received comments in multiple different formats. Some people were using track changes in Word. Some people were using the review comment bubbles in Word. Some people actually chose to work offline and sent her comments in email, or sometimes comments in a separate spreadsheet. So I guess the end result for her was literally days of work just to sort through and organize all those 700 comments that came in, even before she could start to analyze them, read through the content, and work out which ones were important and which ones were less important. So yeah, it's definitely a painful process, and yeah, we've seen it in real life. Back to you, Molly.
Yeah, so what can we do? We look at an example like that one